Big shout out to Prime XBT for sponsoring today's video. If you don't know who Prime are a platform where you can not only trade crypto, but you can also trade FX, commodities, and stock indices. And the beauty of these guys is you can use crypto, either Bitcoin or USDT, as collateral to trade against these pairs. If you want to find out more about them, then check out the links down in the description. And if you do want to trade with them, then use our codes below to get up to a 7,000 USDT deposit bonus and 25% off trading fees. So thanks once again for sponsoring today's video. Good morning, gang. Good morning. Welcome to this week's altcoin update. First and foremost, remember, nothing discussed today is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for educational purposes only, and it's my view of the markets. And now that's out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So obviously last week we were looking at ETH and AVAX. So let's just quickly throw it on our old tier and see what's been going on. So first and foremost, we were talking about, let's just hide this for the time being. We're in this quite clearly sideways range. And obviously we were hovering within value. In fact, last week when we recorded the video, we would have been just breaking out of value around here. So we're just tapping the top of value. We've come back down, we've retested it, and then since then we've had another push to the upside, which coincides with these highs here. So obviously you could say this is a range within a range. But the last point to note before we finish that video is I mentioned this channel here, this parallel channel that's sloping, and I said this is something to be aware of. And as we can see, we've actually come right into the EQ of this parallel channel, and we've had a small rejection. Now, is this a rejection and this is game over and we're looking back down, or is this just a stall and we move up to the horizontal range? Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Obviously, if price does come back down, then once again we'll be looking at this value area high. Now let's pull this on so we've now got all the data included. There we go. So if this does reject here, then I'll be looking back down into this value area high again. And again, this is coming back down into this mini consolidation here. Bear in mind, we're looking at this on a daily chart now. If we do manage to flip this and get on top of this EQ up here, then first and foremost, I'll be looking up at these range highs. Now, we do have some resting liquidity above there. So first point to note is you get swing failure pattern back in and trade it back down. Or if we don't see a clear swing failure pattern with a load of trap traders, then I'll be looking to continue this up higher, first and foremost to target these highs, and then perhaps looking at this outside channel. Okay. If we do see a full-on breakdown and we get acceptance back into value and we get no reaction there, then quite simply I'd just be looking back down towards this EQ, and if that EQ doesn't hold, then I'd be looking at this point of control / upward sloping channel. Okay. Very simple, level to level. Again, like I said last time, you know, I do have Elliott wave counts that say the low is in on ETH, but I also have alternative counts that say it's not in. So until then, until one of them is invalidated, we're still trading level to level, and it's as simple as that. Okay, so don't hold on to trades thinking that they're going to go straight to all-time highs, and don't hold on to counter trades that are thinking it's going to go down to, you know, $300-400. Just play level to level, be smart, lock in profits while we can. You know, the overall environment has not changed. Just because we've had a few bullish weeks in a row on Bitcoin and the rest of the market, it doesn't necessarily mean the full bull market is back. Okay, we want to see a continued uptrend. So that's ETH. The other one we looked at was AVAX. When we recorded the video, let's just make this a little bit bigger. There we go. When we recorded our last video, we would have been, where are we, Tuesday, so we were just coming into this point of control. Big wick through it, like we did before. Didn't take out the previous wick highs, rejection, and then we did get the rejection pull back off that. Now we have successfully broken through it. So what can we look for from here? Well, quite simply, we drag that along now. We can see where the point of control is. If this does continue up, like we said before, I'll be targeting these highs, which coincidentally lines up with the value area high and the range EQ with this yellow line here. Okay, so if we can get up there, that would be for longs, if you're still holding on to any longs, that'd certainly be a take profit region. And potentially a region to get into a hedge position. Okay, if you get no reaction there and it just continues grinding up, then just looking for the top of the range entirely. Bear in mind, we've still got this. Let's get rid of that. We've still got this high volume node just here, so just above this EQ we do have a high volume node, so there is a chance, once again, it'd be liquidity for this, and obviously that had already been taken, but you have got a chance for here for a swing failure pattern and then back down. Okay, if it doesn't continue up and it turns around from here, well, first and foremost, you'd have to lose this point of control. If it lost that point of control, then I'll be looking back down a zone between this range low, this white line, and the value area low just below it. Okay, so assuming that holds and gets a reaction there, then you've potentially got long opportunities there. Okay, and again, we're just trading this range. We're just trading this range, and then this being the deviation out of the range. If it does break down, then look for, again, the lows or the standard deviation. Okay, quite simple, level to level. So that's the update on ETH and AVAX. So coming into today's analysis, we've got a few. We've got Flow, Doge, and Shib Inu, I think it's called. Flow, wow, is that right? So this chart just goes down, and every time we see a bottom, we just get another lower high. Right, let's have a see then. Let's see what's going on. So first and foremost, usual volume profile along the whole range. Let's see. Kind of makes sense. Let's throw this on log so we can see this a bit clearer. There we go. So we've come down. Loads of volumes coming down here. We can see obviously the point of control as they move down. So previously the point of control would have been here. The point of control's moved down, so we're going to safely assume that a load of volumes come in there. If we just throw it on the volume itself, let's just get rid of this and then go back on log. We can see down here the volume started ticking up, which obviously makes sense now, seeing the move that we've had. So we've seen the reaction. So is this a good low? Well, for now it is a good low because we've seen the volume come in. The last time we saw significant spike in volume was actually after a low had come in, and then we saw the spike in volume come in at this push up. So obviously this is people getting out of their positions. Anyone that's been trapped this whole way down, people have seen the first pump and they've quickly got out of their positions. Well, FOMO Longs has jumped in here, bought the guys that are selling, and hoping that this is just going to pump to high heaven, and lo and behold, it continued lower. So it's something to be aware of. When charts just go down like this, you've got to be cautious, because on pumps like this is where people are trying to get out of positions because they've been holding since inception. Or they've been long in every single pump and they're just getting out of positions. So it's something to be aware of. When a chart just goes down like this, people are trying to get out of positions as well. So I'm not saying it can't then start to grind up in a new uptrend, but I'm just saying be cautious, because each spike up so far, based on the history, has resulted in a pullback. Okay, so let's zoom in. Let's see if we can throw it on a local range. So if we use this one as our local range, and then to here, there we go. Right, so we can see here now we've got a local range, and what we can be looking at is this just a deviation out of the range. Okay, so we're looking at, so next let's throw on a volume profile within this local range before the breakout, which is there, and there we go. We can see, so from here, if this holds, then first and foremost I'll be looking back up towards that point of control. Okay, and if we zoom out, this point of control does line up with this high volume node here, so we've actually got a decent amount of volume within this. So point of control first and foremost. If that point of control does hold, then you can be looking for a short trigger back down towards range lows. Okay. Excuse me. If there's no reaction at that point of control, then ultimately I'm going to be looking back up towards this EQ. But realistically, this EQ, we have got liquidity hanging just above these wicks here. So if we do get it back up to this EQ, then I'd probably be looking for a run of these highs. Get that, back down, back under, there's your short trigger. Or if you are long and you're holding and you've not taken profits already because you're a bit daft, excuse me, and you're a bit daft because you've not taken profits already, then you'd certainly be taking profits up here. Okay, no reaction there, value area high. No reaction there. Now we've got to keep in mind we've got this cluster of volume here. But effectively I'll be using this as an overall region. Yes, it's a big region, but what you'd be looking for if price came up here, if it does get all the way up here, is you'd be looking for then a structure to change to the downside. You get that structure change, then you'd be looking for shorts. And effectively, just like most altcoins and Bitcoin as well, you're just trading this old range. So level to level, locking in profits, not getting overly greedy, not getting overly bullish, not getting overly bearish. Yes, like I've said, this does look like a fairly good low for now, but does that mean it has to hold and price can't come back down and either revisit it or take it out? No, it don't. You know, we're still level to level. This uptrend needs to continue. So obviously on daily, we've got this uptrend. Now, looking at it from an Elliott wave point of view, one thing you need to be aware of is we've got potentially a 5-wave structure here. Now, does that mean this is the top and now we come back? Or this 5th wave could keep going higher? Yes, it could keep going higher. But what you'd be looking at now, if you are hoping that this is now a new trend, is after the 5-wave completes, you'd be then looking for a 3-wave correction. Now, where that comes into, we can't predict. We can see the biggest levels of support right now would be just above here. So that'd be around 76 cents, give or take. Well, probably to the top of it. Between 75 and 82 cents. We could even throw on a fib pull, and we can see that roughly comes also into the golden pocket / 786. 786 is always a good one for altcoins. So if you see a 3-wave pullback like this, and it's not a 5-wave impulse down, then that's when you potentially can be looking to take a new long. That's after a 3-wave move down. So as long as it's a 3-wave move down, and it's not a 5-wave move down, then from an Elliott wave perspective, then this is when you could potentially start getting long. Now, as I said, this could go higher, but all you are looking for is, once it goes higher, you're looking for the 5th wave to be in, and then you're looking for a 3-wave corrective move back down. And on that 3-wave corrective move, that's when you'll be looking to long. And that's if you're hoping that the low is in, and that holds, then you're looking for more upside. Okay? But still, we're level to level environment right now because we've not had anything confirmed. Okay? So that's where I'd be on flow. But again, as I say, just remain cautious because obviously it has been down only. And every pump's just been sold into, which has caused then a lower low. Okay? Not overly bullish, not overly bearish. I'd just be cautious with this. But I do like this volume down here. Okay, next, Doge. Here we go, Doge. Now, we've still got some historical T8 on this chart. We can see here, so let's have a quick zoom in. So obviously the last time we were looking at it, we must have been around here, which this had been just before Christmas, the end of December. Since then, obviously, we came back down. We lost the point of control. We came back down into the EQ. Lovely reaction there. Back up, and we're back up into this local range high. Okay, and we're tagging the value area high as well of this local range. Obviously, the move before was tagging the previous range before ultimately the breakout. So let's clear some of this up, and let's see what could happen from here. So let's just get rid of this, and we'll just do some fresh analysis. So let's have a look at this, shall we? In fact, let's just bring some of those back on because I like that range. There we go. Let's get rid of that. And this, I'm going to extend this up to here now because we've seen this price action come up here to test the previous range lows. Now we've got the EQ, we're right up against the EQ here. And then obviously if we do break into that old range, then we're back into this range up here. If we do break down from here, so obviously if this does roll over, come down, and we get no reaction, no swing failure pattern down here, then you potentially got longs. Now, if you do lose this range, and ultimately this offers no support, because that's where effectively where your line in the sand is, down here, which is coming in around 4 cents, give or take. If you lose that, then as I've said previously, I'd be expecting this to go quite quickly. Okay, then I'd be looking into this consolidation here, which this is coming in roughly around, call it a cent for easy numbers. Everyone likes round numbers. Okay, so that's what I'd be looking for. Now to the upside, let's just throw on a volume profile for this whole area now. There we go. See this now, so we can see the bulk of the volume. We've got this point of control coming in right here, and we're just hovering just above it. So very similar to a lot of other coins. Now we can see to the upside, we've got a gap until here, which is coming in roughly around 10 cents. And then above that, we can see your next real volume spike comes in roughly around 14 cents. So if we can hold this point of control and get above this EQ, then first and foremost, I'd be looking around 14 cents. Clear 14 cents, then again, I can't see why we wouldn't be retesting the old range lows. Now, if we take out this as an SFP, come back down, then you got a short trigger. If this doesn't happen, and it just continues grinding up, then ultimately I'd be looking for this EQ of this old range. And what it'll do is each high that it takes, it's likely going to have a pullback. Now, those pullbacks could turn into something more, but just be aware, I wouldn't be longing into these highs, because chances are each time it runs one of these highs, it'll come up and then it'll quickly pull back. Come up, quickly pull back. Come up, quickly pull back. Now, obviously, it might continue grinding up like this. Depends what the demand is. Or each one of these highs could end up creating a full-on reversal. Now, does that mean a reversal all the way back down? No, it just means level to level. Okay, so that's how I'll be treating this right now. Effectively, lose range lows and lose this level around 4 cents, then we're backfilling all this. Okay, don't lose that and looking for the upside, then we're looking up here first at the previous range lows slash now current range highs. Clear into that, then we're back into this range. And again, just keep an eye out for where the volume is sitting, because that's what's important, where the volume is sitting. We can see each one of these highs is coming in on a high volume node, so it's something to be very aware of. Okay, and we can see this EQ up here, we've got high volume just above that EQ. So the market will always move towards liquidity, and obviously the volume profile is showing us where the liquidity is. Okay, so once again, I'm not calling all-time highs on Doge. I mean, to be fair, it's barely had, I mean, it has had a good correction. Has it had a deep enough correction? Who knows? You know, from the high to the low, it's 92% pulled down, so it's a decent correction, but does that mean it's over? It doesn't. It could still go lower, but it could also still go higher and create new all-time highs. So let's wait and see, level to level. Don't get over greedy. The problem with something like Doge is it's got such a fan base to it that, you know, everyone gets a bit too excited, and this is what causes people to hold on to positions. People that bought up here, they're still holding on to positions, even though they're massively underwater, they're 92% down. Okay, so like what we were just saying then with flow, when something's going down and a lot of people are stuck, I mean, we can see here, look at all the volume that's up here. We can see so much volume up here. So do you think these guys are going to, if price does get back up here, do you think these guys are going to hold on, or they're going to shit the pants and exit the position because they managed to get out at break even? You know, you will get some degenerates that hold on to it thinking, here we go, they've just hold the coin through a 92% drawdown, and then they're finally going to get into profit if it does break a new all-time high again. But yeah, level to level, don't get greedy, be cautious. Shib in you. There we go. This is a shit coin and a half. Right, so this is the one that was what, going to $1, going to 10 cents. What was it? Everyone was just making up random numbers. Right, we can see here. Let's throw on a volume profile as first and foremost, shall we? Wrong one. This one. Volume profile from the start to where we are now. And we can see here, look at that, point of control, slight uptick in volume. Still, the volume is still nowhere near it was in the FOMO stage back here. This is obviously when everyone was telling you that it was going to go to a dollar and that everyone was going to be a billionaire, and all you had to do is buy and hold, and lo and behold, the market is again 91% because it's a meme coin. It's just FOMO driven. But anyway, so can we say that this point of control is going to hold? Well, it's held for now, so there's no reason to start looking crazy bearish. So assuming that this holds, let's sort of see where we are. All right, let's get a range on here, because it does look like we've got a good range. There we go. Right, so we can see here we've got a range on. This looks nice. So we've got respect to the EQ, respect to the highs, respect to the lows. This obviously didn't come back down towards the lows. In fact, we could actually probably change this to here, and that'd be a swing failure pattern. There we go. That does look better. There we go. Swing failure pattern, the lows come back, retest the lows, again, slight deviation, and then back up. So right now, where are we? Well, we're at the range EQ. So we're at the range EQ here. Okay. Now, at the range EQ, what are we looking for here? Well, are we looking for a reaction to the downside? If this rejects here, starts coming back down, change of market structure, then you potentially got a short trigger. Now, if you've got a short trigger, then zooming back out to look at the volume, you'll be looking at effectively the ledge of the volume here comes in roughly around, well, I'm not even going to try going into these numbers here, but we can see here, if we look at the ledge of the volume, we're looking roughly around here. So if we do end up getting a pullback, this is the sort of region I'd be keeping my eye on if you're maintaining bullish structure. Now this is just slightly below the golden pocket, which obviously a lot of eyes will be on. Let's have a zoom out here. Yeah, for me, I prefer this level below just because that's where the volume is sitting. Let's do a local volume profile so we can have a look at this in a bit more detail. Now we've actually got value area low. So we've got value area low into this golden pocket. So I'd say this is a zone. So this is what we'll look at when we're talking about confluence trading. This is what we're looking at. So around here would be an area of interest. So you got the golden pocket, value area low, and then we've actually got a macro high volume node just below it here as well at this level. So that's something to be aware of. So if price does turn around here and come back down, then change market structure, then you'll be looking for a short back down into these sort of levels here, into this zone. Now, just as an FYI, obviously, if you want to understand how I create these areas of interest and all the tools that we use, then first and foremost, come over to our website. Links down in the description below, spitfiretraders.com. First point of call is check out our free Discord, which is this link here. This will get you into our free Discord, and as I said, there's well over 1,000 members now, and growing day by day. And obviously, if you do want to learn along with us and understand how I trade, then check out our Copilot's course. And on here, you can see, learning from professionals. We've got all the learning modules. There's over 80 hours of content on there. We've got weekly live streams, we've got cheat sheets, and obviously, a huge community around you. And all this you get for a grand old price of $59.95, and that's Great British pounds. So under $100, you get access to all this. And once again, like I've addressed before, the reason why it is this price is because I don't rely on the income from it. Okay? My money comes from trading. My money doesn't come from selling you a course. So this is just a side project for me, and I will help you out all along the way. So if you get this, you get access to all the video content, which is on here. All the video content. In fact, we started altcoin trading 2 weeks ago, and the next altcoin module will be tonight at 7:30 PM UTC. And I'll be going over 2 more strategies tonight for the guys to learn from. So obviously you got access to all of these modules. You can see how many steps are in each one. You'll also get access to our private Discord, which has my trading plans in for Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, Forex. And as you can see, you know, the guys have been absolutely nailing the altcoins recently, which has been great, taking advantage of the volatility. It's they've just been doing very, very well. So super proud of the guys. It's been awesome. Great market conditions. Okay, so that's that. Now back to it. Now what happens if we get above this EQ? Well, if we get above this EQ, let's just get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, this, and this. Get above the EQ and hold it, then you'll be looking back up at this value area high, which would be nice because it'd take out this high here. You get a reaction there, change your market structure, short it back down, looking at the EQ fails, then value area low. And again, for now, you can just be assuming that we're trading value. Okay. If we get above that, and we manage to break out of value, similar to how ETH's doing, then first and foremost, you'd be targeting these highs. Well, what you'd be looking at is into this high volume node here. It's not significant, it's not huge, but you do have a high volume node up here. So something to be aware of. Get above that, then you're looking at range highs. Okay. Break out of range highs, then you're going to be effectively targeting all the way back to this value area high of the entire range, the entire life of Shiba Inu. Okay. So that's it, level to level. And again, as you guys know, look at the volume that's up here. This is the volume from up here. So there's still going to be a lot of people that are bag holding all the way down. So expect any quick pump up, if it is fast, likely is going to end up in a quick retrace as well. I'm not saying it'll fully retrace and break down, but I'm just saying that it will likely retrace because there'll be people that'll be scared, that've been holding this, you know, the life savings are in it, like we've seen some of the stories, and likely they're going to try to exit out as close to break even as possible. So it's just something to be aware of. You know, this is when you get coins that end up going like this with big spikes. Okay. What happens if it breaks down? Well, if it breaks down, there's how low can you really go? Because obviously we've already broken down effectively back into, if we hide this now, we've already broken back down into the accumulation phase. You know, we're coming right into that point of control, as we know. If it does go any lower, then effectively what I'd be looking for is, if this point of control is lost, then first and foremost I'd be looking to target these as a swing failure pattern. And if that doesn't hold, then just let it drop back down to value area low. Okay. So it's just level to level environment. I'm not trying to scare anyone there, because I'm just saying this is if. This is what makes a good trader. It's not saying this is going to happen. All I'm saying is if this, then that. And that's how a trader thinks. That's how someone that's done this for years thinks. If this, then that. And that's how you've got to change your mindset. Okay? If price comes here and no reaction, then let it drop. If price comes down here and you get a reaction, then I long. Okay? If price comes up here and you get no reaction, let it run. If price comes up here and you get a reaction, then I look for a short. Okay? If this, then that. So if this point of control is lost, then ultimately I'll be looking back down here after taking out these as a potential swing failure pattern here. Okay? Level to level. Level to level, like the whole market. Right, guys, that'll do. If you've enjoyed today's content, make sure you hit the like. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. If you've not seen our Trading for Beginners playlist, I think we've called it Trading Tips, Trading Hints, then go check that out. I'll try to leave a link at the end of the video. We've got 3 videos out there now, which is pattern trading, risk management, and fundamental analysis versus technical analysis, so it's definitely worth a watch. Yeah, and if you want an altcoin covering next week, then let us know down in the comments what altcoin you want covering. Alright gang, that'll do. As you were. Bye bye.